Now, Sharpton has more troubles. The National Review reporting that suspicious fires destroyed Sharpton's financial records twice, and both times Sharpton was running for office and failed to comply with tax and campaign filing requirements. And the National Review's Jillian Malcourt joins us. Jillian, what happened?
Yeah, so there were two fires. One happened in 1997 when Al Sharpton was running for mayor. The other happened in 2003 when he was running for the U.S. presidency. And I think with the first fire, it was treated basically from the beginning as an arson/explosion case, burnt a lot of records supposedly. But the second fire was generally, thought to be potentially like an accidental electrical fire. But when we reviewed the information, there was lots of reason to question that. I mean, between the witness and some of the facts about how large the fire was, there were just several inconsistencies in the report that make this look, a little bit suspicious.
Okay, so it's suspicious, but we don't have any information to tie Al Sharpton to being responsible for them, right? Just that these are suspicious fires. It can be set by an enemy, it can be set by anybody, right?
Well, there has been a lot of speculation that Al Sharpton may have been involved. I have two credible sources that are telling me that there was a guy named J.D. Livingston, used to work for Sharpton. My two sources say he was paying him under the table, basically. And I confirmed with Immigration and Customs Enforcement that this employee was here in the United States illegally at one point. Now, this is the first guy who was on the scene when the fire happened, shows up to talk to fire investigators with Sharpton's lawyer present. And there's also an inconsistency because he's saying, I was right in the reception room when the fire happened, yet, the fire department responds pretty quickly. And by that time, it had grown to an incredibly large blaze. I'm hearing that that's inconsistent with how fires normally behave. So his story definitely has some holes in it.
All right, let me ask you about another problem he has. According to the New York Times, he owes $4 to $5 million in taxes, I know professionally, business-wise and personal. I wonder if there's any sort of update in whether or not he's on any payment plan. And the reason why it's certainly gotten in my craw a little bit about this, besides the fact that other taxpayers pay their taxes, is that he recently was down in Selma with President Obama and he was right behind the president. I don't know why the Secret Service lets him right behind the president while he's got this mess on his hands. Yeah,
that's right. I mean, there was a tax settlement reached, but I think what's potentially problematic about that is that tax settlement is not public. We don't know whether he got a discount deal. And I think it comes into play with the fire story because, he cited this fire. He said, my financial records were burnt. This has prevented me from filing taxes. It's prevented me from filing basic campaign paperwork. And yet we don't know whether, those financial records were ever submitted. He says that they were recreated. We don't have a way to verify that.
All right. We don't know if he's got a payment plan or if he got a discount. But I tell you, if he didn't get a discount, he has a lousy lawyer because when you go to the IRS and you work out, everybody gets a discount. I mean, I'm not going to hit Sharpton for getting a discount unless he got a really good discount. I just want him on a payment plan. I mean, I'm just wondering if he's like getting on, the straight and narrow with what he owes the American taxpayers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at his tax bill in the past year, it's actually grown, which is kind of surprising, I think, for many people that have been hoping that he'd pay his taxes.
Well, we stand by waiting because he gets to go in and out the White House, and he certainly does. He's got some tax issues. He sort of owes the rest of us some money. But anyway, maybe he's paying it. We'll find out sometime, which is not tonight. Thank you, Jillian.
Thank you.
And coming up, I can't help you get Al Sharpton to pay his taxes, but on the record may have just helped you save $1 million. Wait till you hear this. You will. Off the record. That's next.